You know how Donald Trump and his people tell you that we're winning all the time? USA is the hottest country on the planet and you're all going to be rich. Well, I'm always curious. Okay, so what do you have to tell me? Well, this is from the Wall Street Journal today. Federal shutdown delays Friday's jobs report. So no jobs report, right? No data on telling you how much we're all winning. Read this too. For a second time in 5 months, work has stopped at the Economic Statistics Agency. And just think about the irony here. The people who are supposed to be working to tell you how awesome all the job situation is aren't even working themselves. And chances are, I'll just be frank with you guys, there's probably no jobs in job report anyway, because things are really ugly out there, as you already know. But this, second time in 5 months, no jobs data. It's crazy. I keep saying the same thing, though, is that it's not going to be inflation going forward that we're going to be focusing on. It's going to be unemployment figures and jobs. I think these is actually a really important report. And I do want to see what it says, but there's no report. If you check out what the White House is saying, and they're always basically, trust me, bro. It says White House and Donald Trump. President Trump has proven every critic wrong on tariffs. That's what they say. They have created an American economic miracle, right? American flag emoji and money emoji. So that's according to Trump. And basically, he has an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. If you want to read it, you can. I'll just say this. It's exactly what you think it would be. It reads just like one of his, Twitter post things. And this time it's in the Wall Street Journal instead of a Twitter post. It's the same thing, though. And when you look at this stuff, and I'll just read a little bit. It says, the Journal, so they're writing in the Wall Street Journal, attacking the Wall Street Journal. The Journal has charged repeatedly that tariffs are nothing but a, quote, tax on American consumers, which is proved to be totally false. That's according to the Trump people. They're trying to pretend that you're not paying the tariffs, basically, is what they're trying to do. And then they actually linked to a study from the Harvard Business School. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll take a look. What are you talking about? What's Harvard talking about? And this is the title of it. It says, tracking the short-run price impact of U.S. tariffs. Okay, someone from Harvard, Northwestern, right? And Universidad de San Andres. So looks like various people are in this. And this is what it says. Prices began rising immediately. This is a study that the Trump people link to. It's like, do you not even read the stuff that you're linking to? Prices began rising immediately after the broader tariff measures were announced in early March and continued to increase gradually over subsequent months, with imported goods rising roughly twice as much as domestic ones. Again, that's the study that they link to, and I think they just assume that people who follow Trump can't read, would never read anyways, so just trust me, bro. This is more from Harvard. Tariff costs were gradually but steadily transmitted to U.S. consumers with additional spillovers to domestic goods. So basically, your prices are going up and you're going to pay it. That's from Harvard. So, hey, I'll take Harvard's word over Trump. And it's weird that they would even link to this thing because it just makes them look even more dumb, them meaning the Trump people. But there's that. Also going on today is Disney is reporting tourist numbers among foreign tourists are, I guess, down. Disney warns of hit to U.S. theme parks as foreign tourist numbers fall. Wow. And this isn't necessarily shocking or anything. I mean, would you want to go to the USA when ICE can hit you at basically at one of the ports, and you hear they'll search your social media and such, or detain you for hours, or this is just reality. That they may say, hey, you got the wrong accent, or you look the wrong way, and harass you and such. And if you don't produce your papers right away, right, do whatever. And so if I'm a foreign tourist, there's just other places to go. I do think you guys know this, and it shows up in business. This is where we're at. When you look at, this is from Homeland Security, like their social media, they're like talking about the Grammys. Seriously. While Hollywood celebrities embarrass themselves trying to drum up hatred of ICE officers from the Grammys, DHS law enforcement was hardworking, arresting, and then they list all these things. And that's why I show you guys, like put two and two together, tourism is down. You can see it. Disney's even saying said thing. Disney warns of hit to U.S. theme parks as foreign tourist numbers fall. And then you check over the Trump people, they're going to brag about how rich they are.
It soared past expectations, bringing in more than $7 million at the box office in its opening weekend. Now, that is the most of any non-concert documentary in a decade. Now, legacy film reviewers were so certain that it wouldn't do well. Well, they would be wrong. Emily, my mom went to this weekend in Florida. She said not only was the theater packed, it was, standing room only if you could try to sneak in the back of the theater. People were cheering through it. They were excited. It was interactive. People interplaying with the film. She said it was just electric.
Electric.
It was electric, guys. It made $7 million, and then I think they spent $75 million on this thing. So I wouldn't necessarily be flexing on that. And then they have to make it really particular. This is a non-concert documentary. And this is actually an interesting thing. If you guys don't know this, if your movie's bad, you release it in January. That's when you release all your stinkers, basically. And then you've got this. This is pretty interesting. The housing market is swinging towards buyers. Nearly 2/3 of home buyers last year purchased at discount to original listing price, highest proportion since 2019. So basically, you see the price of the house, and I guess you're getting it for under list. Below list price, that would be all this, I guess you call it yellow, right? So we're at 62.2% buying below list. At list price, that's 15.6. Above list at 22.8. So the peak of, overpaying for a house effectively looks like to be 2021 and kind of in that year. I remember hearing about people paying over list, but that seems to be declining. And they actually have this other interesting chart here. And if anyone's in the market right now or bought recently, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one or heard anyone of this buying stuff. Average discount for homes that sold below their original listing price. So this was back in 2012. So I guess 8.3% that would be below listing. 2020, this would be if you did buy below, it was 6.3. And then now I guess, 7.9 average discount. So 7.9% discount than what was listed. So people are definitely coming down in prices on homes. Also, what's going on in our markets, I want to show you guys everything that's happening. Gold and silver deep in historic slumps. So basically the last couple of days over the weekend, if you've been watching this stuff, I think silver was down 30% and gold down double digits. It's been pretty crazy. And this has been both, meme stuff driving it up, worries about inflation. But I keep telling you guys, I think the worry is not going to be inflation. It's going to be jobs. And so our markets are acting all kinds of whacked out ways. And then when you look at, say, Oracle here, this is what they say. Remember, this stuff is all built on debt. Oracle raises $25 billion in bond offering despite concerns over rising debt. And basically they tell everyone, guys, I swear we're not going to borrow anymore. We're all going to be awesome with AI. This is literally what it says. It says, bond investors were reassured, okay, Oracle is taking steps to limit borrowing. Wow, okay. I promise we're not going to borrow anymore. By also issuing new equity to help fund its massive AI capital expenditure, as the tech giant's growing debt burden has weighed on its stock and bond prices in the past recent months. This is what's driving our market. It's all based on debt. It's all based on, I guess, all these AI companies are eventually going to make money. And that's our plan. And then you have stuff like this. U.S. will cut tariffs on India to 18% in trade deal. And what it sounds like to me, this seems to be the plan to where Trump's telling Modi, okay, buy U.S. oil and buy oil from Venezuela that the U.S. is going to pump out of that. So I guess our plan is, right, take over Venezuela, spend a bunch of money on that, and then sell that to India. That's what it sounds like to me. And I was reading through this stuff. It even says here, additionally, Trump said to Modi, quote, agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy much more from the United States and potentially Venezuela. So I guess that's what we're doing today. And then you look what else that Trump is doing here. Trump administration to create 12 billion rare earth stockpile to counter China. And everything that they do is some sort of grift to, help his friends is basically what it is. So I'm sure his oil buddies want to sell Venezuelan oil, I guess, take it over, send Venezuelan oil to India. And then this one was an interesting one. I'll read the description. A White House official said the expected stockpile, called Project Vault, they always come with these whacked out names for this stuff, will be the fruition of a $1.6 billion in private capital, along with a $10 billion loan from the U.S. Export-Import Bank to assemble the minerals from automakers, manufacturers, and tech companies. So I'm sure there'll be money disappearing here and there and whatever, right? That's essentially what they're doing, the stockpile. And then if you call out on Trump and his people on anything, they're going to come attack you. Justice Department expected to ramp up efforts to deliver on Trump's weaponization priorities, meaning go after Trump's political opponents. And they have this working group. I guess they're going to do it every day now or something. It's the Weaponization Working Group. Great. Justice Department officials are expected to meet Monday to discuss how to re-energize probes that are considered a top priority for President Trump, reviewing the action of officials who investigate him, according to a source familiar with the plan. So the plan is to just tell you that you're all winning. So that's gaslighting, make up a bunch of crap that everything is awesome. And then when you say, okay, if everything's so awesome, where's my job? Don't give you a jobs report. And then when you ask more and more questions about any of this stuff, like all the grift that Trump is doing, then you get really angry and send the DOJ at you. That's their plan. It's so obvious what they do on a daily basis, but I sadly the Fox people, they're just going to focus on, hey guys, look how awesome the Melania documentary is, and we're all rich. Wow, great. So that's what's going on. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you all in the next video.